What if the reason your current reality isn't working has nothing to do with your circumstances, your past, or even your mindset, but everything to do with a frequency you're broadcasting that you don't even know exists? There's a scientific discovery that explains why you keep attracting the same patterns, why your best intentions fall flat, and why changing your thoughts alone will never be enough. The moment you understand what's actually happening at the energetic level, everything shifts. You're not just living your life anymore, you're consciously designing it from the quantum field up. Here's what's shocking about this discovery. Every single day you're transmitting an energetic signature to the universe through approximately 70,000 thoughts, most of them completely unconscious repetitions of yesterday's mental loops. You're rushing through conversations while mentally rehearsing arguments that may never happen, scrolling through your phone while your energy scatters in a dozen directions, lying awake at night replaying scenarios you cannot change, sitting in meetings while your frequency broadcasts frustration to everyone in the room. But you never stop to ask why your external reality keeps mirroring back this internal chaos. Most people are trying to fix their circumstances instead of understanding what creates those circumstances in the first place. They're attempting to manifest from a place of desperation, which only generates more desperation. They're visualizing their dreams while their energy field screams doubt, wondering why the law of attraction seems to work for everyone except them. They don't realize that every emotion they feel, every thought they think repeatedly, every reaction they have is literally encoding instructions into the quantum field that surrounds them. And this field doesn't care about your conscious desires. It only responds to your dominant frequency. This is exactly why positive thinking and vision boards don't work for most people. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but if your energy signature is broadcasting fear, lack, or unworthiness, that's what the universe will deliver back to you with remarkable precision. But there's a quantum principle that changes everything once you understand it. When you realize that your reality is not happening to you but responding to you, that every experience you're having is a reflection of the frequency you've been unconsciously transmitting, you can stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the conscious architect of your experience. I'm going to show you the exact process for decoding your current frequency, identifying the energetic blocks that have been sabotaging your manifestations, and then recalibrating your entire energy signature to match the reality you actually want to live. Plus, I'll reveal the instant frequency reset technique that can shift your vibration in less than 60 seconds, so you become a magnet for opportunities instead of obstacles, for abundance instead of struggle, for love instead of loneliness. Every unconscious moment you spend broadcasting the wrong frequency is a missed opportunity to literally reprogram your reality at the quantum level. And most people waste thousands of these opportunities every single day without ever realizing the power they're giving away. When you were born, you didn't think your way into this reality. You vibrated into it. Your very first act wasn't a conscious thought or a planned intention. It was pure frequency, pure vibration, pure being expressing itself into form. Your soul chose this lifetime not because of what you would accomplish or achieve, but because of what you would become, what frequency you would learn to embody, what energetic signature you would develop through your experiences. In that first moment of existence, you knew something profound that you've since forgotten in the complexity of human conditioning. You understood that reality is not solid, fixed, or predetermined. Reality is responsive. It's a field of infinite possibility waiting to be shaped by consciousness, molded by attention, directed by the quality of energy you bring to each moment. Take a moment right now and feel into your current energetic state. Not your thoughts about your state, but the actual quality of energy moving through your body. Is it heavy or light? Contracted or expanded? Rushing or peaceful? If you're like most people, you might notice a subtle undercurrent of tension, a background hum of anxiety, a constant low-level pressure that you've become so accustomed to that you barely notice it anymore. This is what I call default frequency programming, the energetic patterns we've inherited from our families, absorbed from our culture, and reinforced through years of unconscious repetition. Ancient wisdom traditions understood something that modern science is just beginning to validate. From the Hermetic principle of vibration to the Buddhist understanding of dependent origination, Cultures across time recognized that everything in existence is energy in motion, frequency in form, vibration expressing itself as matter. They knew that consciousness was not produced by the brain but channeled through it, that reality was not separate from the observer but co-created with them. In these traditions, working with frequency wasn't just a spiritual practice, it was a technology for reality creation. The Egyptians built their entire civilization around the understanding of harmonic resonance. The ancient Greeks spoke of the music of the spheres, recognizing that all existence operates according to vibrational principles. The indigenous shamans of various cultures developed sophisticated techniques for shifting frequency states to heal, to divine, to manifest. They weren't speaking metaphorically when they talked about raising vibration or aligning with higher frequencies. They understood that when you change your energetic state, you literally change what's possible in your reality. They knew that the universe is not a machine responding to force, but a field responding to frequency. Think about this for a moment. Every breakthrough you've ever experienced, every moment of profound clarity, every time you felt deeply aligned and in flow, has been accompanied by a particular energetic signature. When you're in love, your frequency becomes magnetic and expansive. When you're in fear, it becomes contracted and repelling. When you're in gratitude, it harmonizes with abundance. When you're in resentment, it resonates with lack. Your frequency isn't just reflecting your state, it's creating it. The difference between unconscious frequency broadcasting and conscious frequency management is awareness. Most people are like radio stations that have never learned to tune their signal. They're broadcasting static, interference, and mixed messages, wondering why they're not getting clear reception from the universe. But when you begin to work with your frequency intentionally, when you learn to fine-tune your energetic signature like a master musician tuning an instrument, something magical begins to happen. You stop being at the mercy of whatever frequency patterns you inherited or absorbed, and you become the conscious composer of your own energetic symphony. Right now, as you're processing these words, there's an invisible field of energy surrounding you that extends far beyond your physical body. This isn't mystical speculation, this is measurable science. Researchers have documented that the human energy field, generated primarily by the heart and brain, creates electromagnetic patterns that can be detected several feet away from the body. But here's what most people don't realize: this field is not just passive radiation, it's active communication. You are constantly transmitting information into this field through your emotional states, your thought patterns, your beliefs, and your expectations. And this field is constantly transmitting information back to you in the form of experiences, opportunities, encounters, and circumstances that match your dominant frequency signature. Think of it like this: if your frequency were a radio station, what would people hear if they tuned in? Would they hear the clear, strong signal of confidence and possibility? Or would they pick up the static of doubt and fear? Would they receive the harmonious music of gratitude and trust? Or would they get the discordant noise of resentment and resistance? Most people have never consciously tuned their frequency, so they're broadcasting whatever signal they happen to inherit or absorb without ever questioning whether it's actually serving them. They wonder why they keep attracting the same types of relationships, the same financial struggles, the same health challenges, the same emotional patterns, never realizing they're like a radio station playing the same song on repeat and wondering why the audience keeps showing up expecting to hear that exact song. As you begin to pay attention to your frequency more consciously, you might notice something interesting happening. You'll start to become aware of the subtle energy signatures of different emotional states. Fear has a particular frequency, tight and contracted and desperately seeking security. Love has a completely different signature, expansive and warm and naturally magnetic. Anger broadcasts sharp, chaotic signals that tend to create conflict and resistance in your environment. Peace emanates steady, harmonious waves that tend to organize circumstances around you with remarkable grace. But here's where it gets really interesting. You can learn to shift your frequency consciously and deliberately. You don't have to wait for external circumstances to change before you can feel better. You can change your energetic state first, and then watch as your external reality begins to shift to match your new frequency. This isn't wishful thinking, this is quantum mechanics in action. The observer effect in physics shows us that consciousness literally influences matter at the subatomic level. When you change your frequency, you're not just changing how you feel about reality, you're actually changing the probability patterns of what can show up in your experience. Hidden within your current emotional patterns is a code that reveals exactly why your reality looks the way it does and how to transform it completely. But 99% of people never learn to read this code because they've been taught to avoid their emotions rather than decode them. Those emotional patterns you've been experiencing, the ones that seem to show up regardless of your circumstances, aren't random occurrences or personality flaws. They're sophisticated feedback systems, energetic GPS coordinates showing you exactly where you are on the map of consciousness and pointing you toward where you need to go next. Every emotion you feel is frequency information. Joy vibrates at approximately 528 Hz, the same frequency that DNA uses to repair itself. Love resonates at the frequency of the heart's natural rhythm when it's in coherence. Fear operates at much lower frequencies that actually disrupt cellular function and immune response. But here's what's fascinating. Your emotions aren't just random chemical reactions, they're intelligent responses to the energetic information you're receiving from your environment and broadcasting into your field. Take anxiety, for example. Most people experience anxiety as something unwanted, something to be medicated or avoided or pushed through. But anxiety is actually your energy system's way of alerting you that there's a misalignment between where you are and where you're trying to go, between what you're saying you want and what you actually believe is possible for you. The anxious frequency is your inner guidance system saying, pay attention, there's something here that needs to be addressed before you can move forward in alignment. The key to reading your emotional code is learning to feel your feelings without being consumed by them. This means developing what I call emotional literacy, the ability to recognize the energetic information contained within each emotional state without immediately trying to fix, change, or escape it. When you can feel anxiety without becoming anxious about being anxious, when you can experience sadness without making it mean something is wrong with you, when you can acknowledge anger without either suppressing it or exploding with it, you gain access to the wisdom your emotions are trying to convey. Now we arrive at the practical application of everything we've explored, the moment where understanding transforms into embodied practice and theoretical knowledge becomes lived experience. What I'm about to share with you is a comprehensive system for recalibrating your entire frequency signature, for transforming yourself from someone who creates by accident into someone who creates by conscious design. The foundation of this system is what I call the Frequency Reset Protocol, a daily practice that helps you identify your current energetic state, clear any distortions or limitations, and consciously align with the frequencies that match your desired reality. This isn't a complex or time-consuming process. In fact, the entire protocol can be completed in less than 10 minutes, but when practiced consistently, it creates profound and lasting transformation in your energy field and consequently in your experienced reality. The first step of the protocol is frequency scanning, a process of becoming consciously aware of your current energetic state without trying to change it immediately. Most people live in such constant mental activity and emotional reactivity that they never actually pause to assess what frequency they're broadcasting. They move from one task to another, one thought to another, one emotion to another, without ever taking inventory of their internal environment. Frequency scanning involves stopping whatever you're doing and taking several conscious breaths while turning your attention inward. Ask yourself what frequency you've been broadcasting today. Has it been hurried and anxious? Frustrated and resistant? Scattered and unfocused? Or perhaps peaceful and centered? Creative and inspired? Grateful and open? There's no right or wrong answer, only awareness. The goal is simply to develop the capacity to recognize your energetic state as it's happening rather than remaining unconscious of it. The second step is frequency clearing, a process of releasing energetic distortions and returning to your natural state of clarity and coherence. Throughout each day, we accumulate energetic residue from our interactions, our thoughts, our emotional reactions, and our environment. This residue can cloud our natural frequency and make it difficult to maintain alignment with our desired states. Frequency clearing can be as simple as visualizing light moving through your energy field, dissolving any heaviness, tension, or stagnation you might be carrying. You might imagine yourself standing under a waterfall of pure white light that washes away anything that doesn't belong to you or serve your highest good. The key to effective frequency clearing is intention combined with visualization and breath. The third step is frequency programming, the process of consciously selecting and embodying the energetic signature that matches your desired reality. This is where you move from reactive frequency management to proactive frequency creation. Instead of just clearing what you don't want, you begin to consciously cultivate what you do want. Frequency programming involves identifying the core feeling states associated with your desired outcomes and then learning to generate those states independent of external circumstances. If you want to attract abundance, you practice feeling abundant, grateful, and generous. If you want to create a loving relationship, you cultivate the feelings of love, worthiness, and openness. If you want to experience better health, you embody vitality, appreciation for your body, and trust in its healing intelligence. The crucial understanding here is that you're not pretending to feel something you don't feel or trying to convince yourself that your current circumstances are different than they are. You're accessing and amplifying authentic frequency states that already exist within you as potential. Every human being has the capacity to experience love, joy, peace, abundance, and creativity. These aren't external things you need to acquire, they're expressions of consciousness that you can choose to embody regardless of your external conditions. The fourth and final step is frequency anchoring, the process of integrating your desired frequency states so deeply that they become your new energetic baseline. This involves consistent practice over time, repeatedly choosing to embody higher frequency states until they become automatic and natural. Frequency anchoring happens through what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself and form new neural connections throughout life. Every time you consciously choose a higher frequency state, you're strengthening the neural pathways that support that state and weakening the pathways associated with limiting patterns. Over time, what once required conscious effort becomes effortless. The frequency states you've been practicing begin to feel like home. Your energy field stabilizes at higher levels of coherence, and you find yourself naturally thinking, feeling, and acting from these elevated states even when you're not consciously trying to. This is when manifestation becomes truly effortless because you're no longer trying to create from outside your natural frequency range. As you begin implementing this protocol, you might notice that reality starts responding to you differently almost immediately. People may comment that there's something different about your energy or presence. Opportunities that seemed impossible might begin to appear in your experience. Relationships may improve without you directly working on them. Synchronicities and meaningful coincidences might become more frequent. These changes happen because you're no longer broadcasting the same frequency patterns that created your previous reality. You're transmitting a new energetic signature, and the quantum field is responding by organizing new possibilities that match your transformed state of being. But perhaps the most profound shift happens in your relationship with life itself. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances beyond your control, you begin to experience yourself as a conscious participant in an intelligent universe that's always responding to your energetic input. Instead of waiting for external conditions to change so you can feel better, you learn to change your internal frequency first and trust that external conditions will adjust accordingly. This represents a fundamental shift in how you understand your role in reality creation. You stop seeing yourself as separate from the creative force of the universe and begin recognizing yourself as a unique expression of that force, equipped with the capacity to consciously shape your experience through the quality of energy you bring to each moment. The journey from unconscious frequency broadcasting to conscious reality creation is ultimately a journey of remembering who you really are. Beneath all the conditioning and programming, beyond all the limiting beliefs and protective patterns, you are a magnificent being of pure consciousness with unlimited creative potential. Your current reality, whatever it looks like, is not a statement about your worth or your capacity. It's simply a reflection of the frequency patterns you've been broadcasting, consciously or unconsciously, consistently or sporadically, until this moment. And since frequency can be changed in an instant through conscious choice and practiced into stability through consistent application, your reality can transform as quickly as you're willing to embody a new energetic signature. The frequency you choose to embody in each moment is your vote for the kind of world you want to live in and leave for future generations. Make it count. Make it conscious. Make it an expression of the highest truth you can access in this moment, knowing that each moment of authentic alignment brings you and everyone you touch closer to the reality we're all creating together. Your current reality isn't working because you've been broadcasting frequencies that don't match your deepest desires and highest potential. But now you know how to decode those frequencies, transform them, and consciously create the reality that reflects your true nature as a magnificent being of unlimited creative power. The quantum field is waiting for your instructions. What frequency will you choose to broadcast today?